How you doing, my man?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Good, real good.
Now, starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
Well, I mean, what would you like to know as far as the acting, or just all in general?
That's completely up to you.
All right. Well, as far as the acting goes, and what I do for a living, I kind of fell into that coming on, Cafe Kremlin. I got asked to come on as a somewhat a semi-small character that grew into something bigger. But before that, I've been, in construction, doing all sorts of trades, electrical, concrete, you name it, carpentry, very handy. So that's how I make my, nonstop money coming in. But, I do the stunts. I got into that once I got in on Divergent, and I've been fortunate enough to be a part of something that big. I don't know if you got a chance to check it out or not.
Now, for people who don't know what Divergent is, could you give us an example of what it is?
Sure, yeah. Divergent is a major motion picture. It came out last March. It's a sci-fi. It's all along the lines of like The Hunger Games. It's based on a trilogy book. I believe the second one's coming out this coming March. And, it did very, very well. So, pretty big movie. Lasted in the theaters, I believe, 3 months, which is kind of unheard of these days.
That's true, but if you remember, Avatar was in the movies for a long time, too.
That is true, yeah. And speaking of Avatar, actually the stunt coordinator on Divergent was the stunt coordinator on Avatar, and that's who actually gave me a shot at being a stunt guy on Divergent. And yeah, it turned out good, so very pleased with it.
Oh, that's really cool. Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, who influenced you to become an actor, and have you had the chance to work with any big-name stars?
I would say, I was in that action flock. I love I can't say just one in particular, one actor in particular. It was just a bunch. I would say Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, Seagal would be my probably top four. And I couldn't tell you just one. They just, they really influenced me to kind of get into the action side of things, and the acting, really kind of fell into that. So I would say, one of them four would be, and I'm not sure which one, but yeah, definitely those are the guys I grew up on, so.
What about famous, favorite famous actresses that you grew up, and any hot, attractive actresses that you got the chance to work with?
I've always been a fan of Julia Roberts. Due to my mom. My mom would always make me watch her movies, so kind of grew on me. As far as working with famous actresses, Kate Winslet was in Divergent, so she was probably the biggest actress I've worked with that I could think of. Even though Shailene Woodley is rated, one of the highest actresses right now, in my mind, Kate Winslet's probably the biggest actress that I've worked with. I worked with Ashley Judd as well. She wasn't very open to conversation. She really stayed in character and everything, but Kate Winslet was more of a mom. She was a pleasure to work with, gotta say. So,
actresses that I grew up to, I would say, what was it? Drawing a blank. I can see her face. It's Elizabeth Montgomery.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
I grew up watching Elizabeth Montgomery.
Okay.
And the other one who she's the same now, but you can see it in the face, but as she is older, it's Barbara. Oh, what was it? Barbara Eden.
Barbara Eden, okay.
She's
call that, but
she's from I Dream of Jeannie.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Those were my two shows favorite growing up. I Dream of Jeannie and B-Liz.
Yeah, right. I remember that show. That was good. So, I was going to ask, so you said which episode is this?
Oh, episode 142.
Wow, look at you go. Okay, nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I got a lot of criticism in the beginning. Oh, you're not gonna get past one interview, or not one episode. You're not gonna get anyone interested, because when I started, and it was kind of asked backwards to when I started, because I did phone interviews. Don't ask me why. It seemed like a good idea at the time. So,
okay.
So it's just a phone interview. The phone will be on speaker, and you have a video playing in the background. And
gotcha.
I came up with 72. I got people from Marty Morphin Power Rangers to Dragon Ball Z to the Amazing Spider-Man. And it still gets to me. They say, why aren't you as big, or wink wink, bigger than you portray yourself to be? You have this great format. Why don't you have sponsors? So why don't you have this? And it's like, I have no idea. Would you like to help me with that? No. If you can't figure it out on your own, it's not meant to be. So
I gotcha.
I did it over, and thanks to you, I'm back up to 142. But still don't have any sponsors. I'm working on that, but I have no idea how to approach that.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's a difficult thing to, get sponsors and whatnot. You just got to keep, getting those numbers up, and, hopefully, somebody will spot it, somebody will notice it, that sort of thing. That's the best way you can do it, really. Yeah, we actually, we're looking for sponsorship, too, with the web series that I actually produced, too. I don't know if you got a chance to take a peek at it. Cafe Kremlin is a web series that we produce in Chicago. We're on our second season, and we're definitely looking for sponsors and whatnot. I think with this second season, when it comes out, it's definitely going to have the material, and it's going to have just about everything you need to get somebody enticed to come on and sponsor you. So really excited about it. I've been, editing. We got some more filming to do, but we're looking to release it in March, from what I've been told by the directors. So we've got a few more things to film, but as far as the editing, we're pretty caught up, and we're really excited about it. Definitely check it out. It's on YouTube. We're up on blip.tv, and I think if you see the teaser trailer for the second season, you'll kind of get the idea of how much it's grown. That's all it is. You just got to keep at it. It's always going to get better. It's always going to get, thicker with the plot, and it's going to get, crazy. You're going to have improv that's going to turn out better than the script originally was planned for. I mean, it's just amazing the types of people that have flown in from out of town to come up on this show. And our cast, you're not going to believe this, our cast went from 22 characters in the first season to about 85 in the second. We got cops on the show. They're willing to bring out their guns. I mean, I got the mayor of, a few of the small suburbs, on my side to help us work outside.
That's nice.
It's amazing how much it's grown since, the first season. So I'm very, very excited about it. You guys should definitely take a peek at that. Yeah.
Well, if you would like me to help you promote it, I can help you with that.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it, Keith. That'd be huge. We're trying to revamp it to get more viewership and everything. So we've really tweaked out even the first season. So we took out all the BS, some of the lines that were just okay, and sped through it, so you're just getting what you need to be getting. So we've been really doing a lot more, cutting out what we don't need to, cutting out the BS just overall. So, but as far as the second season, I think everybody's gonna be pretty thrilled to check it out. And it's on the lines of like Sopranos. I don't know if you've checked out Sopranos or
occasionally.
Sopranos. That's great show, but that's kind of like the basis, the best basis I can give you if I got to explain the show to you real quick, But yeah, it's constant clash in the underground gambling world between the Italians and the Russians. Then you got other crews, you got the Polish. I think we're bringing in the Irish later on in the season. So yeah, it's getting excited, man. As you can tell, I'm a little giddy about it. I'm just ready for it to come out. But it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of patience, and people are very anxious to see it because we were supposed to release it a while ago. So kind of got held up with a few things. A couple of things came up. You know how it goes. So.
Well, if there's ever an opening, I would love to be a part of it if I could.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'd have to fly in, my man. But yeah, we definitely, accommodate to get you in there somehow. Sure.
Now, the next question, I was going to add two questions. The first one is, have you ever gone to Comic-Con, and do you think what I'm doing and what you're doing, especially what you're doing, because it's apparently bigger than what I'm doing, but do you think it would Comic-Con would help in meeting the fans, or do you think you have to wait till it's an official thing, then you can go to Comic-Con? Or is that overreaching?
I mean, no, I have not been to Comic-Con. I'd like to have the chance to go. So we've talked about it, we've discussed it. You can definitely introduce yourself and whatnot, but to have the material ready and complete is a whole other ballgame because somebody actually gets to see you at your best doing what you do. So I would say definitely is that what you were asking me, Keith?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say definitely you got to have some material to show. If not, have your reel on hand, whether it's on your phone or on your iPad or something of that sort. But you definitely got to be able to show something. You gotta get those people right there and then. And I don't think a card or a comp card or anything of that sort's going to do it. I mean, they can meet you, they can think you're great and you're ambitious and everything, but you got to be able to show some material. That's what I notice because I do it. When I go to these meetings with actors in Chicago and whatnot, I always have something to show, just in case they're kind of, because it's one thing to say you're an actor, you're doing stunts, and you also produce something, because there's tons of people that say that,
right?
But to show something is where it really counts, I feel like. So yeah, definitely like to have something on hand, especially in my phone, ready to go. No loading, it's already in the phone. Hey, check this out. What do you think? And you also get a feel of it, especially if you run into a producer or a director or a writer or anything like that. You get a chance to see how they reacted to what you've just shown them, and it could be something short, but that really gives you an idea and gives you a gauge of, is it worth my time? Is this going to be something? Are people getting excited about it? And for the most part, yeah, everybody's right away ask me, hey, can I help in any way? Can we do something for you? Can we come on the show? Send your stuff in. We'll discuss it when a character comes up. We'll definitely get you out for an audition. We'll see how you get. But yeah, material is key. Definitely key.
I came up with the idea, and if I hesitate, I apologize.
What's that?
I know I stutter. It's so.
Not a problem. I'm just making sure I hear you because the connection's kind of cutting in and out. So I'm just making sure I catch what you're saying. Go ahead though. Yeah. No worries, man.
So I came up with the idea of doing a photo book, and I was debating saying because all the people I interviewed, from season 1, I have 100. Basically, I made. And I can send you the clip after. It was supposed to be, I call it the highlights, but it was supposed to be all 100 interviews that I did. Unfortunately, there were about, it was 88, so there's about 12 people who didn't want to give me an endorsement. By the way, I got a little plug. I'm going to ask you for one afterwards if you're okay with it. But basically, it was just a video plug of all 100 people. But I didn't have all 100. I only had about 88. So I did the video of doing just the 88. And I was like, okay, that's fine. It's a video, how else I'm working on merchandise. And that's the next thing I'm going to ask you. But at what stage do you do merchandise? I came up with the photo book. It's like, okay, here's my book. Like use this for example. Here's my book. And if you look at it, there's two of them. One, it's all season 1 with all photos. I was debating if I should have names in it, but I think the photos would speak louder. And I was like, that's a good idea. But at the same time, what's your opinion? And so, again, two questions. The first one is, do you think the photo book's a good idea? And at the second point is, where do you see merchandise coming from what I'm doing, especially what you're doing? When do you think merchandise comes to play?
I think merchandise is crucial once you have a fan base to where you can, because obviously you got to put in money to make money. I think once you have a good enough fan base to where people want to buy, and I mean, I wouldn't say blow your wad right there and then. I would definitely give it a trial run and see how you do. Maybe make what did we do? I think we did 100 DVD copies, just like as a test trial run, and we did okay. We were. I mean, definitely we didn't have the fan base we got now. So I think once we do the second season, same thing. We're going to enlarge the quantity of everything, and we're going to do more things as opposed to just the DVDs. We're going to do, T-shirts, hats. We're going to do obviously the DVDs and whatnot. We're also going to do some symbol things that are in the show that symbolize certain things and make them like kind of keychains and whatnot, like bigger stuff that we haven't shown yet. But I mean, I would say definitely start out with 100. Something small, something that's not going to cost you too much, and see how you do. It's all really just trial and error, So that'd be my suggestion.
No, I appreciate it. And now the next question I was going to ask you, you bring up fan base. How do you, and a lot of people ask me about this, how do you know if you officially have a fan base? Because, your stuff is obviously being watched, and you see the numbers going up, and my stuff is being watched, numbers is going up. But how do you officially know that it's an official fan base, or...
You know what? I'm sorry, Keith, you cut out. I couldn't hear the last sentence you said.
Basically, it's like your stuff is being watched and my stuff is being watched. But how do you know it officially when you have a fan base?
Well, you really don't know exactly. You can kind of, hope. I would say hope for just, you see how many clicks you're getting. You see people talking about it throughout Chicago. Throughout the people that are in the industry. It's known. The show is known. I mean, it's traveled, to Australia, to Europe. And it's popular in Asia, and when we get contacted by we had a contact from somebody from Brazil to send over the pilot, which we have, and translate it because they'd like to put it out on their TV network and see how it does. At that point, I have a pretty good idea that it's in, a decent amount to where you can keep working off of it, and it's growing, it's getting bigger, and people want to see more. We got people texting us, not texting us, but messaging us from Dublin, parts of Asia, Brazil. So, it's traveled, and there's a fan base for it. So just judging off of that and the clicks we get, that's where I'm getting my basis that we're, it's not a big fan base, but it's a fan base. You can definitely call it a fan base. So, and I think, I'm hoping for the best for this second season, but I think that's when we're really going to, hit it home. So.
No, I agree with you. And the next question I was going to say is, while you're saying it's got to spread, and for a perfect example, I would say, and my friend went to the city, and he had a meeting, and something, I don't know how it came up, but they asked him, have you ever heard of the KeithAndrewNetwork? And he said yes, and this is coming from a professional scientist and a doctor, and I had no idea how this even came up. Apparently, I interviewed someone who talked to someone who talked to someone, and I'm happy that it worked like that. It's just, I kind of wanted to be the first to know, but I said, oh, by the way.
Right.
It's like this, and then all of a sudden you'd be, oh, by the way, I overheard, but how do you know if it's taken off? The numbers are going, but
at the moment, to be honest, I know it's growing, but it's not something that I know an accurate number on. I just don't. I don't believe the producers know either. I suppose we're not too concerned with it because the first season was more of the tryout if this would even work. So my best answer to you would be we weren't concerned about it at the time, but I know. We've obviously, pushed through with the second season, to see if it's going to grow anymore. And, unfortunately, if it doesn't, then we're going to cut Cafe Crumlin and put it on hold until we figure something out. But, you can only try. That's all I can really say. You can just keep trying, and eventually something's going to come up. But you really need the contacts. You really need the people, putting it out there, promoting it, and whatnot. So, we don't have the numbers at the moment. We don't have the exact numbers that you're asking me for. Just don't have it. But
no, we're in the same boat.
Yeah, pretty much. So when you say this is bigger, I don't know.
No, I was going to say, you're going to think I'm an idiot, but I just realized that's a TV behind you. And when I first saw the TV behind you, I thought, it's like, he's really rich. He has a Titantron in his house. I want a Titantron in my house. But,
I don't think it's as big as you think it is. It's pretty small. I got the big one over there. But here. Let me grab the phone. And this is actually, I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see it. This is actually one of the sets, and this is actually in my basement. This is actually a bar I built.
That's nice.
You can see it. But we do a lot of filming here. We do the big stuff here as far as like the Italians go and whatnot. But man, I'm not rich in any way or anything like that. I've just been fortunate. I've been lucky, and I just do what I can, to be honest. So.
Now the next question I was getting, and you can ask me anything you want too. So I don't want people to think it's one-sided or anything.
Sure, Keith.
Was there any questions you wanted to ask me so far, or?
Well, I was blown away that you told me you've had that many episodes. How many do you plan on having? Or is there a certain number? Or?
Well, my first goal was to reach 100. Now I'm reaching for 200.
Okay. Well, that's good.
I'm just hoping.
Go ahead.
No, I was just hoping by 200 eventually, it stands out more, and so people will realize I'm doing something. Instead of just blowing smoke into my ass.
Well, it's always going to be doing something. What about who have you had on the show, if you don't mind me asking?
Not a problem. This got to sound redundant, but were you a fan of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
You bet. At that age, oh yeah.
I recently, two good friends of mine. It's Ron Reisman. Ron Reisman is currently working with Christy Alley on, I think it's the Thunderman show or something like that. But he's a, are you still there?
Sorry, yeah, I had a phone call coming in. Sorry about that.
No problem. You still hear me?
I can hear you.
Right.
I can hear you.
My friend Ron Reisman, he's working with Christy Alley on the Thunderman show. It's a Nickelodeon show. But he also did the music for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and X-Men. And the other one, it's Kurgan Mayhem.
No.
He does the sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I don't believe I have.
He does the voice of Goldar. The big gold monkey thing.
All right, okay. Got it. Nice.
I did have Barbara Goodson on my show, but that's when I was doing my demo interviews. As you did Rita Raposa, I also had Eric Vale. He did the voice of Trunks. What was it? Kyle Herbert. He did the voice of Pycon and South Kai from Dragon Ball Z. And basically, all these people from the first time I did it, I tried getting them back on the show for the second time. And most of them said yes. Some of them said no. And it's kind of like, I don't understand it. And they say to me, oh, this was a great conversation. I can't wait to do it again. Okay. Oh, I'm doing a follow-up. Would you be interested? No. I only said that because I thought I was on the air or I would get something out of it, and it's kind of like, okay, thanks. I also asked for the friendship too, and it's like, yeah, we can be friends, keep in touch. Yeah, it sounded good at the time, but yeah, no.
I got you. What is your follow? How many followers do you have? Do you know how, or around about how many people you got following the show and whatnot?
That's a good question. I recently created a group, and I'm gonna send you the link to. Hopefully, you be a member of it. And it's just, as of right now, it's just 21, maybe 22. I recently started to advertise on Facebook, and it says, "Oh, you now reach 200 people." Really? Okay, but the number didn't change on the group. It still says 21.
You're cutting out. I can't hear. You're in and out. I hear like maybe 2 words, and then you're out for a whole sentence. I totally lost you at. That's a good question. I haven't been able to hear anything.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I know it's just probably the connection.
Well, it's better. It's usually it's on my side if I have the messed up connection.
I couldn't hear a word you were saying, so I don't know if you'd like to repeat what you
not a
said.
problem. I recently started advertise. I recently worked with Facebook to get the word out, and they said yes.
Okay, right.
And they said, "Oh, you reached 200 people. 200 people like the group." Okay, why can't they just click the I like button? And you say 200 people, meanwhile the numbers aren't changing. I mean, that's all I was saying. But to answer your question of how many people offhand, I really have no idea. I know people are watching them.
Right.
I recently interviewed Lenny Pablo. It's the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, nice.
And I know his video got over 158 or something. It was really up there out of everyone else. But it depends on the person. It depends on the chemistry. Like, this is a great interview because it's back and forth. But there's other times where I'm like, because it sounds like slapping myself. And it's like, what else can I say to this person? I hate.
I hear you. Sometimes conversation, can't carry very well, depending on the other side. I know because I have to contact, future characters for the show and future possibilities for locations. I really wear a lot of hats, so I know exactly what you're talking about, and I really do feel. It's a breeze to talk to somebody that's able to hold a conversation and it is a little bit more open to shoot the shit and whatnot, and make it more of a friendship than just a business deal or whatnot. So I hear what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like putting it on mute and just hit myself too, So, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Now, the next question is...
Some people are harder to work with than others, for sure.
That's true.
Some people are very up there in their head, and they're closed off, and I don't know if they're just taking longer to think about something or a response, or I don't know. Sometimes it's just difficult to even make a business deal and lock in a situation or date or a person to come out on the show and whatnot. So yeah, I hear you. I feel you on that. I do.
Now, if you have any regrets, what would you redone? If they're saying it was a good idea at the time, but looking back, it was really stupid. I did it.
Are you talking about an action or like an acting thing or stunt thing? Or
overall. Gosh. I got one.
I wish I was asked to be a part of a web series, and I trusted an acquaintance more than I should have, and I didn't read through the script fully, and I didn't really do my research on this particular individual. I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but the role was just not for me. As much as I tried on it, the more it got changed, and I just wish overall I just never took it. It was just one of those things that I regret even, being a part of and spending the time I did when it all just kind of backfired on me. So, and it was more for me, just trying to help this particular individual that, in the end pretty much pulled the rug right from under me. It was brutal. And it wasn't just me either. I should have done my research on the project more. I should have had more things in line. And, like I said, it wasn't just me. He got 30 people replaced. He didn't pay certain people, because when you're on the contract, it's one thing. When you're coming on a project to do things kind of, for the real, for the credit and whatnot, then that's okay. But, he wasn't paying out. He had a lot of problems with the SAG office. There was complaints on him, whatnot. So overall, I made that mistake, so it won't happen again, but I don't really jump into anything anymore like I did. I guess at the time I was a little bit hyped up to do another project, and I just jumped into it trusting this guy because he came off as a good guy, but in the end, within a month, I figured out this guy's, he's just not the guy you'd want to be making business with. He's not the guy you want to have your name get dragged through the mud with, because he was just...
A juice bag?
Yeah, let's call him that. He said it, not me, but yeah. That'd be my biggest regret. And I guess it was just a lesson learned, and I won't let it happen again. But it was an experience, overall.
Well, I'm a good person, so if you ever need anything, you help me, I help you. I'm not saying not to kiss your ass, but I live only once. We live only once, and it's always better to go the extra mile and make a difference in someone's life, because when we die, that's how we're going to be remembered, making a difference, no matter big or small.
You bet, Keith. Absolutely right. I definitely don't, hold out on people. I like to help as much as I can. I go to, events even when I don't have to, but I know it helps, and I know one day I'm going to be asking for a favor as well, and I'm all about that. So when March comes along, I'll be giving you a call and help me out with Kremlin. So, but yeah, anything you ever need, man. That's why I said,
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Whenever you want to do it, not a problem, and happy to do it.
One of the stupid things I ever did, don't ask me why, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
What's that?
Actually, I did 2 of them. Like I said, because, I do have a learning disability, I was thinking with my heart, so I just did it without thinking it through. When I turned 21, here's the first one. When I turned 21, people said it's the most special birthday you can have in a lifetime. It needs to do something special and remember it. I was like, okay, well, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I am like CM Punk, straight edge. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I don't do any of that. It's like, well, what can I do that I can, take advantage of and turn it into a career and enjoy it?
Yeah.
Well, I do like a couple of famous people. Why not ask them for a friendship? So I came up with this whole big speech to say, I was using my learning disability as a crutch. That's what I was up front with them, and I said, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I was just up front, and they said, this is the biggest piece of shit I ever read. Hey, how many people have you sent this to? I was told, there's a couple of professional wrestlers who said, I don't get paid enough to deal with people like you. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Oh, wow, yeah, I hear you.
But that's one of the stupidest things I ever did. Now it's better like this, It's like I can ask you for your friendship now because we're seeing each other face to face. But I should have been working on my talk show back then. But I didn't know when Skype came out or if people did this. So if I can go back in time, I would have started my talk show a lot sooner than dicking around with. Just try this idea and try that idea. Yeah.
You got to keep trying until you find that niche that something you enjoy. I mean, I never thought I'd like this, but once I got asked to do it, it was just, it's amazing. I couldn't go back now. I love doing this. I love going to auditions. I love meeting the people I do. Running into people that want to work with me and vice versa. So yeah, I've been I'm overjoyed at times, to be honest. Especially when throw on HBO and holy freaking cow, man, there I am. So I get blown away. My mom, family couldn't be happier. So I hear you, but you definitely got to find something you love. Otherwise, it's like, what are you getting up for? What are you getting up for in the morning? So,
have you ever worked in retail?
I have. Wasn't long, but I did a little bit. I did. Gosh, what did I do? Actually, I did. You mean like clothing, right? Clothing stores and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. I did Abercrombie for a while. I did Hollister. God, what else? I did that, because it was like a thing. I felt like, but I did have to make some money back, when I was younger and whatnot. But yeah, that's what I did. So I think that's about all I did, though. Abercrombie and Hollister is what I can remember.
I used to work over at the North Face, KB Toys, and U.S. Polo.
U.S. what?
Yeah, U.S. Polo. It's the company with the horse.
Okay, gotcha.
I didn't enjoy it. I liked the money, but I didn't like dealing with the high school bullshit.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's what it was too at the Hollister Abercrombie. I mean, that's the kids you got. You got the kids in there that were your age, and there was drama, and why are you checking out my? I'm not checking out your girl. I'm just making sure she's getting everything she needs. I mean, the shit you'd have to put up with in the store. Guys thinking you're just hitting out there. You're not. You're just. Lost you again. So yeah, no, I hear you on that. I get that. Been there, yeah.
Now the next question I was going to ask you is, wrapping up the last subject, is what exposure was your first? Like, have you ever been, besides me, have you been actually this is a professional interview, it is uncensored, but I mean, like, have you ever been on TV, been interviewed, or on radio interviewed?
We did a radio thing on two guys and a dog, and it's a radio station, so it wasn't like, there wasn't no video or anything like that, but, it was still, we spoke about Cafe Kremlin. I was only, I think I said maybe two things, the director really led the way, but yeah, other than that, no, I have not.
Most recently, I was interviewed for, let's see. Well, it was my friend wanted to make a brand for my company, network. Okay. So I turned that into a kind of interview. So I kind of acknowledged it as being an interview because he was asking me questions. Mm-hmm. But officially being interviewed, it was 2 times. The first one was by L.A. Cooper. She's from Talking Out Loud. And the other one was by Mark Melanie from the Reading Circle.
Okay, nice. Very nice.
No, I'm still trying to get out there too. Yeah,
I mean, the interviews are great, man. They really allow, people to see, who you really are as opposed to, playing something and whatnot. But yeah, no, I have not had the pleasure. You know what we did, and that would be probably the closest thing would be, we did a inside look at Cafe Kremlin. So we were being interviewed, but it was still just recorded and put out as a kind of a behind the scenes types of thing, So you weren't playing the character; you were just talking. What's been going on with you? How did you get into this? Who you played? All that stuff. But yeah, that's the only time I just recalled that. Because it's been a while since I did that. But that was one way to kind of get out there as yourself as opposed to a character. So.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, you just have to take a peek at it. I'm going to be calling you, man. Come March, that's coming out. I'm going to be like, hey, Keith, that Think you said the one time we did the interview? Yeah, calling in a favor, man.
Well, if you're ever in the city, we should definitely hang out.
Yeah, I haven't had the pleasure of being in New York yet, but I get invited out all the time to LA and New York to hang out and whatnot. It's a little difficult, but I'm gonna make a point to do that one day. I got I got my 2 kiddos now full time from a previous marriage, so it's really taking up a little bit of time, and I got my fiance that I'm getting hitched in May, so I'm getting excited about that. She's getting overwhelmed, with all the planning and everything. But
congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, but I think I'll definitely make a point to come out to New York one of these days.
Well, sure. What does your, if you don't mind me for asking, what does your fiance do?
She's a director of operations for a environmental company. So she pretty much runs the show when the head boss isn't there. She puts out fires. She makes sure the classrooms are running properly, that the warehouse is on its tippy toes and whatnot. So she overall just puts out the fires, and she's got the authority to make the judgment calls and everything if he's not there. So.
Well,
she's got a lot on her plate too, so I don't know how she deals with me and the kids.
Well, I'm always looking for people if she's interested.
Okay, for sure. I'll run it by her.
Now, wrapping up, do you have anything you want to say to your fans and listeners?
Just thanks for having me, and I hope you guys check out Cafe Kremlin Season 2 coming out March, and I hope you're as excited as I am. I think you guys will be pretty pleased with it.